Welcome to the August 5th rendition of the Broker Playbook. Many of you know me, but for those of you that don't, my name is Brandon Jolly. I have been with Lee Arnold as a coach, a mentor, and helping grow your businesses as brokers for about the last 7.5, almost 8 years. And it is my pleasure to be able to lead this discussion that we're going to have today. And I'll tell you guys, we have an amazing lineup for you. And it's something that I haven't been able to put together for you guys before. I've got Mr. Lee Arnold live with us. I've got Mr. Joey Rush, who is going to be here. And I've got two other special guests that I will let Lee introduce. And this is going to be such a fun time for you because you're going to learn more about not only our loan programs, how to set up your business, but also how to submit loans through Cogo Capital with our new improved and revamped processes. So as we start to get through this process and we go into our guests, I personally wanted to thank every single one of you, as I've seen a lot of you out there in your broker businesses online recently, and you're taking the education that we have given you over the years and you are applying it. I see it every single day as I'm in there in my own private money broker business. And I sincerely hope to be able to help every single one of you be able to make this work more continually. Now, as we wait for our guests, I wanted to go through some of the things that I thought were really important for our new brokers. And this is something I've seen over the last 10, 15 days that with a lot of new brokers. And I want to help you guys understand there is a process as you're getting this business moving forward. That there's a certain process that you need to take. Number one is for you to be in business, you need to be able to have a business. Okay, so what does that entail? Number one is that you need to have a business name. Number two, we need you to have your social media presence set up. Okay, that's through Facebook, that's through LinkedIn, that is through Instagram. I want you guys thinking about the social media platforms, even X. We need to have social media set up because in today's world, everything runs through social media. After you have your social media set up, the next thing that we need to work on is making sure that you have a website. Now, if you're one of those lucky ones that gets to have your website built by Ariana in Client Success and her team, you're going to get a phenomenally built one. If you're not, you need to make sure that you have your domain name and that you're using a reputable service to be able to do so. All right, Wix, GoDaddy are very great ones. They've got very great user-friendly interfaces. Once we've got our social media, once we've got our websites up and running, we need to make sure we have a phone number and an email address. Once the foundation of your business is set up, that's when you turn loose your marketing. If you don't have the foundation set, it's going to be very hard for you to be able to bring in leads and coherently talk with them. Now, I'm going to come back to this topic here in just a few more minutes. I'm going to show you where you can get some of these resources. But I did promise you that we'd have Mr. Lee Arnold live with us, which, like I said, is not something I've been able to do very much over the last few years. So, without further ado, Lee, I'm going to turn the stage over to you, the time over to you, because you've got some special guests I know that you want to talk with.
All right. Well, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, ladies and gentlemen, depending on where you are in the country. My name is Lee Arnold, and welcome to the Broker Playbook. Now, as you guys know, we have been telling you since December of last year that this is the year of the broker. And as an organization, we are doing everything we can to make your broker experience the best experience we possibly can, not just for you so you can generate more income, but also for your clients, your customers, the borrowers, because we need them to have a streamlined experience as well. And so this isn't a new thing, but we have partnered with North American Financial, and we are blessed to have in the office with us today their executive vice president of North American Financial. His name is Aaron Chapman, and Aaron and I have known each other for a very, very long time. We've been attending various seminars and mastermind groups together for well over a decade, sharing the stage together at various conferences. Aaron is one of the most knowledgeable people I know in the space. And so I wanted him to come and meet you guys and introduce him to you, give him an opportunity to share with you what they're doing because it's really exciting. Also joining me here in studio is Andrew Benton, our director of Cogo Capital, doing great things. But I wanted them to just communicate and share with you guys what's exciting, what's going on the platform. So Aaron, thank you for being here. Glad to have you. Welcome to Coeur d'Alene, brother.
Thank you, brother. And
Good
I just got to say, there's nothing cooler than to have a man like Lee Arnold tell you you're the smartest man in the space. And like, man, now I got something to live up to. And it's not just here that it's been said. I've walked into a room with hundreds of people in the room, and Lee happened to be on stage. I think I'm sneaking in, but the man calls me out from the front of the stage saying, I'm going to be careful with this subject because the smartest man in the subject just walked into the room. So thank you, Lee, for allowing me to come in and talk to your audience.
That's right. Well, we're glad to have you here, Aaron, because you have 21 different DSCR lenders that you're working with.
Yes, we do.
And guys, we've partnered with Aaron specifically for the DSCR product so that we can give you guys more options, better lending, better funding, and overall just a better experience for the borrower. So
100%.
Aaron, these are the brokers. These are the ones that are going to be bringing the deals directly to you through us. What do they need to know?
Ultimately, we've worked with a few of you already, and you guys are great to interact with. And the main thing is just really knowing what deal you're looking for. Because the most difficult part in the DSCR lending space that I have seen out there in the marketplace is there's a lot of ambiguity. And we want to pull all that back and give you enough information that you know what you're looking for, exactly what type of deal is the deal, so you can be successful as a broker and also maintain your integrity as a broker when you're ferreting out a transaction that you're not making a promise that you really can't keep. That's the main thing, my objective.
Yep. Okay. Andrew?
Great. Yeah. So Aaron, I'm just thinking about where we've been in the past and where we are today. We've wanted to clean up the DSCR lending process, right? So most of what we are talking with Aaron about today is DSCR lending, right? So we manage our own internal funds, family office funds, debt funds here for placing the fix and flip and the new construction loans and whatever they are that we're looking at here internally. Aaron is our partner so that when we have maybe a fix and flip loan that's refined into long-term debt, or as a broker, you have a client who's looking for long-term debt, we're saying to Aaron, we're sending you, our brokers are sending you their borrowers. What do they need to get you right off the bat? How do they get started with you? You just walk me through that process of, how do they get introduced to you? Who's making that connection?
Well, first off, you're going to reach out to Joey if you want to get connected and start getting into the DSCR space further. Joey will get you a quick little bullet point criteria to take a look at. Now, when it comes to understanding some of the things deeper, he can connect you up with my personal assistant. She will sync our calendars up so we can spend time on the phone and I can give you a lot deeper detail on what these DSCR products look like.
Well, that's really interesting. So you will spend time on the phone with the brokers who are sending you across the DSCR loan. Is that right?
100%. I want you to be very, very, very well educated in what we have to be able to offer. And one of the things you guys pointed out, it's not like a normal DSCR situation where most of your DSCR lenders will create a single product that's supposed to be built in a way to fit a dozen different products, but they don't fit them all. We just go directly to our sources. We have 21 different sources that we underwrite directly to those sources. So your deal may not fit half of them, but it'll fit others, and then we'll find the best source. But I want you to be very confident, very comfortable with it. We will spend time on the phone as much as 45 minutes sometimes to talk through that initial process. And then if you've got a client that fits and we want to be able to come together and talk to them together, we'll do that too. I want you to feel confident in the deal. I want you to feel confident in your relationship with Cogo and ultimately your relationship with North American Financial through myself.
Fantastic. So what is a deal that will fit? How do they know they have a good deal in their hands that they should be contacting you about to get funded?
Well, so ultimately, first off, you want to look at the loan amount that's going to be there. Is it above 100,000? We can get some down to 75, but anything above 100 is going to be your better case scenario. Now, $100,000 loan means you have to have at least $125,000 value because we're at an 80% loan to value.
Sure.
We target 80%, so you want to make sure you're looking at that. Sometimes you have to go 75 depending upon the scenario. You want to look at single families, 2 to 4 unit. We do have the capability to go up to 8 unit, but then that's going to be a specialized product. 700 credit score and above. 780 is where your best interest rate market is.
Okay.
And it starts to go down. Once you get below 700, that's going to take additional looks to see what we can do with there. Your DSCR, you want it to be a one or higher DSCR. Most DSCR lenders like to be at a 1.2. We'll go to 1-to-1. And what does that mean? If your rent is, say, $1,500 a month, the principal, interest, and tax insurance payment must be below $1,500 a month to qualify. If we get below that 1 DSCR, if it's between 0.9 and 1, we might still have a home, but just know that that's something to talk more about. So those are the main things. We want them to be, a seasoned investor. Do they have ownership interest in investment properties before or currently? Have they collected rents for the last year? That makes them a lot more viable borrower. Do they have a primary housing expense? If they're living with mom and dad and they've never bought a house before, but they save money and buy investment real estate, that's not a dead deal, but it is a deeper look. It's not easy to do a first-time investor and first-time home buyer. If they've got a primary housing expense, whether they're renting or they own their own home, and they have experience as an investor, they have a 700 plus credit score, and they have a deal above a 1.0 DSCR and $100,000 higher loan amount, we've got a really good deal on our hands.
That's great. So it sounds like if our brokers want access to a fantastic DSCR product, all they have to do is get in touch with Joey, send Joey the deal. Joey will put Aaron directly in touch with you, and you'll have access to this man's decades of information in his brain. He'll download it to you on a phone call. He'll work the deal with you, and you'll get it done quickly. I know from personal experience here in the office, we've had some DSCR loans that were hard for us to place. We reached out to Aaron.
This guy's.
And Aaron, Aaron was able to get and just cut through the weeds so fast because he can see things. He comes from a context that he can process through deals, like I said, with decades of experience, so much quicker than we even can.
And to that experience, guys, just to give you a little bit of background, I've been at this since 1997. I've done probably well over $1 billion in transactions in my career. Over 100 transactions a month has been a pretty much average for us. So that, when it translates to experience in the DSCR space, that gives us centuries of transactional experience. Well, I want to give that to you.
Yeah, and I also want you guys to be aware, we've been working with Aaron for quite some time. So you guys are just meeting him for the first time, but we've actually been working with Aaron behind the scenes for many, many years. My wife and I just recently did a bunch of DSCR refinances. Aaron did all of those for us. We were traveling in Europe, and he got them closed for us while we were abroad. So he set up mobile notaries and everything else. It was incredible.
What
this
Lee
man
likes
knows
to
what
do,
he's doing, and he will get the deals done.
If there's going to be a hoop there, why don't he just set the thing on fire and see how good we are? So that's at least we have that testament, and thank you. I appreciate you saying that.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, Joey and Brandon, love to get back to you guys. Thank you so much for the time here to introduce Aaron to the team, and we'll be excited to hear more from Aaron in the future, I believe. There we go.
All right. Well, I was saying, Lee, thank you so much for making that introduction. Andrew, thank you for being able to provide that clarity. And Aaron, I am looking forward to getting to know you and being able to help work together as we prepare the brokers to make your job as easy as possible. So with that being said, I stopped midway and I wanted to make sure everybody here got a good breakdown of how to be able to set your business up the right way. So I gave you a little bullet points, right? Now I'm going to walk you through what those bullet points look like. Because if we can get your business set up the right way, when you get a coach or a mentor like myself that would fly out to your home and sit with you, that we don't have to spend days putting things together, but you can already have it done. Right, and so here's where we're going to start off with. As here in just a second, you should be able to see my screen. And we're going to start with two things that all of you should be really familiar with. And that is social media. You're going to see two platforms I'm going to demonstrate for you, and you can use this as a way to expand upon the knowledge base that I'm giving you here. So first thing is, you're seeing on your screen right here, this is LinkedIn. LinkedIn is the platform for you as brokers that you should live in if you want to have a professional demeanor. Okay, and what does that mean? A professional demeanor. In the real estate world, sometimes that outward messages that you give are directly responsible for people wanting to reach out to you. And so in LinkedIn, there's a few things that you need to be aware of. Number one is your personal brand on LinkedIn matters more than anything else. So I'm going to take you into my personal LinkedIn here, and I'm going to point out a few things I want you guys to know. Okay, number one is right here. You got my personal profile picture. This is a professionally done headshot. Okay, and because of that, this is going to allow people to want to be more involved with me, because they can see that I'm not just posting a selfie picture. Okay, next thing, up here in this area, we've got this, which is your cover photo. This is what defines you. This should have your name on it. Things that you are known for. For me, I'm a master broker. Right? I'm also a lender. I'm a business coach. These are things that I define myself as. And you should put key phrases and words in your overall cover photo that helps people understand who you are right as a snapshot. Remember the phrase is you've got one chance at making a first impression, so don't waste it. Make sure that when a person goes to your personal LinkedIn page that it just blows them away right from the get-go. Another couple things. You got your name. Do not use nicknames in here. Do not use the pet names that your friends and family give you. This should be your full legal name. And then to the right of that, you see this little shield. That shield is so important to have in social media. What that means is this is a verified profile, which means you're dealing with a real person. And in today's world, that is so important. There are so many lenders out there, so many brokers out there that are scammers. You need to be able to set yourself apart from those by being able to get verified on LinkedIn. If you're not verified, there'll be a little blue button right here that says Verify Identity Now. It's going to take you to a program called Clear. Some of you may have heard of it. Clear is the same program that the federal government uses in turn to be able to prove identity for you to be able to get through TSA faster. All right, so it's a trusted program, follow through, and you'll be able to appear more professional. Next line down from there. You want an accurate and simple description of who you are as a business owner, as a professional. That's going to go in this description right there. Next thing, we're going to go down. You need to have a professional about section that accurately dictates who you are, what you've done, where you've done it, as well as your strengths and weaknesses. Actually, not really weaknesses, but your strengths and the areas of expertise. We scroll down through there, you're going to get your activity posts and everything, but we want to go down to experience. Experience is, once again, important in this realm. Experience, list everything that you've done. For the last 10 years, you should have your work experience in there. If you've taken a career break, list that in there. And I don't care if what you've done in the past is not related to private money brokering, put it in there. It is good for people to see that you have been employed, that you are a person that has stuck around from time to time, and that you can actually have some level of expertise. As you're moving on from there, you want education. If you've got a college degree, put the college you went to, what degree you got, so that they can see that you've, once again, put in some time with something. Every single one of you are brokers. Every single one of you that are on this training has taken some level of training from myself, from Gary, from Lee. Whatever trainings that you have taken from us, the licenses and certification section is where you're going to put those. For a good majority of you, you do not have a long-term reputation in this industry. And reputation in the lending world means everything. So if you don't have a reputation, what do you do? Very straight and simple. You tie your reputation to somebody's who means a lot in the industry. There's a phrase I want every one of you to write down right now. And the phrase is who, not how. You should be asking, well, how do I get that? You should ask, who do I know that has that I can tie my reputation to? Well, good news for you is that person is Lee Arnold. So every single one of your trainings, put these in there. Tie your reputation to his. And let his time in this industry, his name, lift yours up. Right? You become great by association to him in a lot of people's eyes. That is LinkedIn. That is what you need to go to first. Secondarily, you need to be able to create a business page. To be able to create a business page within LinkedIn, it's very straightforward and simple. Up at the top right, you're going to see this box that says For Business. All we have to do is click on that. You're going to get a nice drop-down menu with the blue icons on the left, the black and white icons on the right. We're just going to go right down to where it says Create Page. From here, this is where a lot of you guys have heard me say this. Do not overcomplicate this. Okay. Brokers tend to overcomplicate everything. If you're unfamiliar with it, you tend to overcomplicate it. With LinkedIn, what you see is what you get. For your business page, are you a company? Are you a showcase page, meaning that you're just trying to show off another business? Or are you an educational institution? You're a business, or you're a company. So you just click on there. Next thing, you're just filling in the blanks. Don't overcomplicate it. What is your business name? What is that? If you've got a website, what is it? What industry are you in? How big is your organization? What type of organization is it? Would ask for logo. Upload your logo. If you've got a tagline, put that in. Click the box at the bottom. It says you verify that you're authorized by the entity to create the page, and then hit Create Page. Now, I'm not going to do that because I don't need another page, but I want you guys to know how to create that, because the same exact process exists within Facebook. Now, this is where things will vary ever so slightly. A lot of you have personal pages in Facebook. That is great. I'm going to tell you guys right now, your personal page in Facebook will be scrutinized in Facebook as much as your personal page in LinkedIn. So if you're the type of person that likes to post pictures of you sitting on the beach, drinking whiskey and smoking a cigar, and not the best position, and that shows that you're professional, you may want to stop posting those pictures. Okay. Your personal page, if you are in business, can set you up for success or can destroy your success. Be very careful about what you put out there, because once you put it out, you can never get it back. I sound like a parent right now, don't I? But here's the thing, guys. Right? I think all of you understand that. But when you start to get in business, it means more than anything else. Only put things on your personal page that you would feel very comfortable with your grandparents seeing, your spouse seeing, your kids seeing. If you're not comfortable with it, don't put it out there. Because if you're not comfortable with your immediate family members seeing it, that means that your potential clientele, if they look for you on Facebook, could potentially see it as well. So don't put anything on there that you don't need to. I'm not going to go through on how to set up a personal page because y'all have them. I will show you how to set up the business page within Facebook. And that is extremely, extremely, extremely important. And all you have to do is go up to the top right of the screen. You're going to see these 4 circles. The one at the far left is Facebook menu. We zoom out, and you're going to see 2 menus here. You're going to see the colored icons, and you're going to see the black and white icons. We're setting up a business page, so all you have to do is click on Page. And then just like it was before, don't overcomplicate this. Where it asks for page name, that's your business. Where it asks for category, that's what industry you're in. For a bio, that's a quick description of what you would do for the business. You fill those in, you click Create Page, and you start filling in the other things that'll pop up. Inside of 5 minutes is all it takes to fill up this business page. Now I'm going to take you into mine because I want you to, once again, I'm going to show you things that you need to be very well aware of when it comes to setting up your social media. So I'm going to take you into my business page. Many of you have already seen it. I'm going to give you a, let's change over to here. I'm going to show you a few things that you need to be aware of when setting up a business page within Facebook. A couple things is imagery. As you're setting up your business page, I want you to be looking in real estate investor groups. I want you to look at other private money brokers. I want you to look at what they're doing. because I'm going to tell you about 98.9% of real estate investors and their broker business pages all look the same. If your page looks like everybody else's, you're not going to catch attention. You need to have something that sets you apart. For me, mine immediately you pop into my cover photo, right? Does anything in here scream real estate investing? Not really. This is who I am. I grew up riding horses out in the middle of nowhere. One of my most treasured times is me on a horse with nobody in sight. I've got my logo over here, and I've got just quick bullet points about what I do with my phone number and my website on there. That's it. Very unique to me. You need to create a cover photo that is unique to you. Don't make it so ultra generic to real estate that it just looks like everybody else's. Number 2, this area right here, that is for your logo. Do not put your personal headshot in there, especially if it's the same one you used in your personal page. That gets very confusing if you're trying to figure out what profile you're in. Always just put your logo here. Straightforward and simple. Next thing, make sure you've got all of your website listed, an accurate phone number, an accurate email to be able to list everything at, and then start making posts. And once again, keep those posts where they help you set yourself apart. Right? I've got mine. I've made myself a little mascot that is part of every single one of my things, right? Geico has the gecko. I've got Casper the horse. Right? Every time that I'm closing a deal, I'm posting something, right? You need to have something that showcases your personality in your marketing. If you don't have something that showcases your personality, you're going to look like everybody else and you're going to get lost in the noise and nobody's going to do anything with you. I need you guys to understand that more than anything. So that is the 2 main social media pages. That's LinkedIn, that's Facebook. But there's a few things that I haven't touched on yet that I told you need to have. Right? Number 1 is a logo. Now, best option for a logo is to have Ariana Rice in our client success department and her team create one for you. If you'd like one of us to do that, then all you got to do is to reach out to your business consultant that you've been talking about and ask how you can get connected with Ariana for her to build out your logo. They'll give you the step-by-step process from there. If you decide that you do not want to do that, I'm going to show you a quick and simple way how to find where you can get a logo. I'm going to go to Google, and what I'm going to type in is free logo maker. And what you're going to find is a bunch of different things that you can use to create a logo for free. But one thing I want you to remember is if it's free, it may or may not look the most professional, or it's going to be extremely generic. And what did I just tell you about the business pages? Don't make them generic. If your logo looks like everybody else's, they're not going to remember it. There is a reason why Nike, if I say Nike, you immediately remember the swoosh. If I say Coca-Cola, you know what that looks like. If I say Pepsi, you know what that looks like. Iconic brands aren't generic. They have something that sets them apart. So just remember, free is probably going to mean generic. If you want something more customized that you'd have to pay for, I want you to go to a place that I use to create my logo. And it's called Fiverr.com, Fiverr. This is where you can pay individuals that are graphic artists to be able to create your logos. If I wanted to search for a service in here, I can say like logo creation. And then from here, we're going to see a bunch of different graphic designers with their portfolios of logos that they've created. Now, one thing that just keep in mind, the cheaper, the more generic, the more expensive, the better that it's going to be. But I can tell you, if you're thinking of paying for one, I would rather you go and use Ariana and her team because they can customize them so much more than even what you can get through here because they know what works in logos. For here, you're going to have to accurately dictate to the graphic artist what you want and what you don't want. And you'll only get 1 or 2 chances to be able to get it right. Maybe 3 or 4 if you've got a forgiving graphic artist doing it. So you've got to be able to think before you pursue. Okay, now we've got the logo. I told you we needed an email, we needed a phone number, we needed certain things, we needed a website. Right? Once again, Ariana and her team are going to be the very best for you when it comes to websites. But if you don't have a website, you don't have a domain, quick and simple, GoDaddy. Right? What if I needed a new domain? Now I'm just going to make one up. Our next guest that we're going to bring on, if you guys saw it on the announcement, is Mr. Joey Rush. We just talked about DSCR. So what if I wanted a domain that was talked about Joey and DSCRs? What if I said J Rush DSCR? And that is my domain that I want. Right? All I have to do is type that in. And there it is, jrushdscr.com for a penny. Joey, would you want that one? He's pumping his fist over here, right? You guys see how simple that is? If I wanted it, all I got to do is click get it. It's so simple. Once again, don't overcomplicate these things. You'd be surprised at how much brokers tend to overcomplicate simple things like this. Okay, final thing I wanted to show you before I bring Joey on, because he's got something that every single one of you need to see. What about the phone number? I showed you the logos. I showed you the domain. What about the phone numbers? Well, if any of you have followed my trainings over the past few years, you guys know I absolutely love artificial intelligence. It's really, realistically, that's how I maintain doing 4 to 10 deals a month as a broker, right, on a consistent basis. I use AI. Before we logged on, while Lee was talking with Aaron and Andrew, I put up a prompt into ChatGPT and I said, give me a list of options that brokers can use for phone services to get phone numbers. And here is that list, right? Google Voice. It's free, or they have a $10 a month paid version. You can use something called Open Phone, a service called Grasshopper. Do you guys know that Zoom offers phone numbers? I use the service called Nextiva. Lee Arnold's office uses a platform called Ring Central. Okay, you have another one called Phone Burner. Right? There are so many things here that you can use, and it even gives you what the potential cost per person is, per line. And then it gives, hey, here's, if it was a solo broker, it'll use this. If it's a tight budget, use that, right? Let your AI help you with this, and then just follow its directions. This is the process of setting up that business, right? We need social media, we need a website, you need a logo, phone number, email. That's all you need. Don't try marketing, don't try getting leads until you've got all of this set up, because ultimately, if you don't have an online presence that looks professional, sounds professional, the immediate first thing, like I told you guys, is you are going to appear and sound unprofessional and like a scammer. I don't want any of you to have to fight that. Don't try to start doing something until you've got the foundation going. Now, speaking of foundations, one of the pieces that you're going to need to have in place is know how to work with your lenders. Specifically, when you start getting those leads to come in, what do you do? How do you get a quote? How do you work with your specific lenders? Now, great news for you is you are working with one of the best lenders here in Cogo Capital. I'm going to bring on your loan officer, Mr. Joey Rush, and he's actually going to show you how to work through our portal in Cogo Capital to be able to get quotes and get them to your clients. So Joey's going to get plugged in here, and Joey, I'm going to turn the stage and floor over to you.
Oh, yes.
And so we can educate the brokers on how to best work with you and Andrew in the future.
Yeah, thank you. Absolutely. It's a real treat to be here. Aaron Chapman, DSCR, what a treasure to have him on board. Very excited to sit here and speak through our broker portal. Biggest goals of today are going to be how to access the portal. We're going to be able to get term sheets. You guys are going to be able to edit them, dial them in for your borrowers, and then send directly to Cogo. Very exciting to be able to send those into our team. We have complete visibility we'll be able to send you confirmation that we've had those terms, we're waiting for the application, and then sending direct links for our applications to your borrowers to fill out directly. They can upload documents and streamline your process through the broker portal. So I'll share my screen here, and this is what's going to be for the very first initial. When you enter your broker portal, you'll have an initial questionnaire to register with a phone number, name, last name, email address, and you'll hit submit. You'll be able to get that confirmation link from your email, submit the link, and then your next time you're going to be logging in, here is Let's Get You Set Up. This is for an initial term sheet, either you as a broker or a borrower, and I will fill this out as I am the broker. We'll go through a step 1 of 6. This is going to be a workflow to get in for an initial. Buying a property, refinancing, we're going to do a buy. Here's a little checkbox that you can do for this deal. Includes renovation or rehab. I do know it is going to be a residential, single family, 1 unit. This is step 3 of 6. And here we go. We don't have the full address. So at any time you don't fill out something, this is going to be please fix the highlighted areas. Here's our property address, 123. It will auto-populate. We've got Northwood Center here, Coeur d'Alene, Idaho, very exciting. We'll go next. Purchase price, $350,000. Estimated budget, we're going to do $40,000. ARV, $575. And I'm potentially going to go after, I'm a master broker. I'm going to try to get 100% financing for my client. We're going to do $390. 12-month terms. Back it off once. Hit next here. Five of 6, borrower's name. I know this is John Smith. FICO score 760, done 7 projects. All right, and almost done. Step 6 of 6. This is where you can review you are the broker, the purpose of the loan, purchase and renovation, borrower Mr. John Smith, property address, loan amount at $390, see my terms. So here's our initial term sheet. We can start reviewing, making sure that we have everything up to date, and it won't have all the details. If I need to edit something, right up here is our edit button. Jumps in. Now we can go down and edit anything. He called me back and said, oh, Joey, I'm actually getting that property for $340 now. We can go in, update this, go all the way down. Broker fee, I want to charge a modest 2 points. We'll update that. And here down at the very bottom, premium student, repeat client, including gap loans, exception county, master broker. So you're going to be checking this when applicable. I'm going to go for my master broker 100%. I'll come back up, compute these terms. Now at this point, I can save the changes. I can download my PDF and send it directly to my borrower. He reviews it, confirms, or says he calls back and needs another update. We can go back in and edit this at any time. He confirms. Here's a quick button for send to Cogo. This is what's going to submit and confirm, lock the terms in when it gets into our system. When you go into the contacts for Mr. John Smith, as you can see, here we have all 6 term sheets I've created and prepped prior for a few tests. At any point, we can go into our settings. You can upload a broker logo like Mr. Brandon was talking about earlier. If you want a quick reference for a broker portal tour, we can go through this. This is going to be welcome to the broker portal. This is your workspace for pricing loans, managing the people you lend to. We'll show you around. It takes just about a minute, and you can leave it anytime with the skip button. So here's where our term sheets will live. It's a 1-page summary of all loan numbers, the amount, the interest rate, and the points. This tab lists everyone you've ever created. Over on this side, here's start something new. For a new term sheet, you can price it fast yourself, or you can send the borrower directly a short link to fill out on their own. That's a great resource to send directly. We'll show that to you next. Snapshot from the top, you can search any status, the type, the name. This earns its keep once you have got a few dozen loans in flight. This part flags out sometimes for me. Give me 1 second. It's going to be the snapshot of the whole view here. I'm going to refresh. All right. At any point you can go back to that, get the tour. For our request from borrower for a new term sheet, this is going to be able to send a direct contact, purchase, rate term, refinance, or cash out. We're going to do a purchase and rehab, broker myself for Joey Rush, broker fee 2 points, loan terms 12 months, and this is going to create a link that you get to send directly to your borrower and have them fill out the information to send back to you for your term sheets. So we can go back into these term sheets. I know I have had one sent in for me. Here's our status entries from a draft. This is saved but not sent to Cogo. You got a waiting from the borrower that you sent a request for a link. Responded, the borrowers have filled out your request. Sent to Cogo. Updated review, under review, awaiting application, docs needed, application review, and funded. So you can follow the stages along through your portal. So say I had that term sheet I want to send to Cogo. This one's ready to go for John Smith. Here's where you send and lock. At this point, our team gets the notifications. I see it in our desk. I will be reaching out via email, confirming the terms, and say you don't have an application in yet. I will also include that link that you can send directly to your borrowers to fill out the application. You can also copy the link here now that we've sent the terms from your portal to our site. Copy the link. This is what you will copy, send directly to your borrower. Please remember the referring broker field. So you will reference your name, phone number, email when you send this out for them to put in the application. So if we copy this link, we can go in just like we were on the client-facing side. And this is what they're going to see. This is what your borrowers are going to see, filling out the application, the referring broker information that you've put in. Select what best describes you. They're going to be the borrower themselves, going down through the email address, borrower's full name, making sure they fill it out in the entirety. If they have an additional borrower or broker, additional borrower, they're going to add a guarantor 1, guarantor 2. If you need to remove a borrower, at the very end of it, there's an acknowledgement as the borrower. Making sure they click through, sign it, and then submit. Once they click submit, it goes directly to our team. They have an application portal they will log into with their username, their login. A messaging portal pops up that we can use back and forth to speak directly to the borrowers when documents are needed, referencing back to you as the broker as well. Creating a contact, very simple, first, last name, email address, phone number, and there's our new contact. If we need to go back and edit, we can add notes as well. Test, add note, save, and on this here same 3-dot tab, you can show your notes for any one of your contacts going forward. Here's another view to go back into our term sheets if we need to adjust again to compute. again, I look forward to seeing all of your guys' term sheets that you submit. If you have questions and just want to speak to one, submitting your term sheet to Cogo Capital and then getting a hold of myself and we can speak through your deal. Submitting the applications directly from your borrowers is going to be tremendous. And then we'll step into some questions for our portal.
Right. Well, Joey, I'm actually going to play a little devil's advocate, have a few questions of my own.
Yes.
Right, and see if I can get a few of those questions out there for the brokers. And then, Austin, if you are able to pull up the chat and see if there's any questions in there for us as well. So number one thing that I'll say is, obviously, this is a new process. A lot of our brokers, this is the first time that they're seeing this. So, you know, my advice earlier is that brokers tend to overcomplicate things.
Sure.
Right. So in your realm, what is I'd say the thing that they need to know most about this that will help them simplify this process?
Yeah. Yeah, the easiest thing is going to be when you have a term sheet that you're ready to send in, your borrower with an active sales contract, their budget. Those are going to be easiest to send the direct link to the borrowers for the application. Your term sheets are going to be directly to the borrower for confirmation. And as soon as you click submit to Cogo for the term sheet, you can send out the application directly to streamline the process and keep it quick. The term sheets, to make it less complicated, is going to be very easy just to work through, get familiarized on how it works and the different cells and where they're at. Right. Does that help and answer your question?
It does a lot.
Okay.
And luckily I've seen this firsthand. I was one of the first ones to submit a loan through this portal, sitting side by side with you. So I got to see it going on that realm. I'm thinking just for the broker that wasn't sitting side by side, right? And so one of the things that I know that I've had a few brokers reach out to me is, what is the best way after they've submitted, after they've gotten the application in and the initial docs to you, what is the best way for them to know where they're at in the process and what else they need to do to help you and your team?
Yeah, absolutely. Great question. So through the process, submitting the application, usually with 24 hours, we'll get a good response of, hey, we see your application. Here's the loan number. Here's the docs that are still needed to get into order entry. Upon receiving all those docs, we hit order entry. 24 hours through a process from our high-level review with our managing director. We will approve the terms. And at that point, we get to get our background check, appraisal ordered. Through that process, our processor steps in. He's going to get a full list for our documents to start prepping for submitting to underwriting during the time it takes to get the appraisal. Once the appraisal comes back, we get to confirm the leverage on the terms, submit to underwriting with a full document, a full file, and then it's typically 5 to 7 days to close.
Perfect. So in that realm, one of the things that it was, you talked about the high level with the director, which everybody got to meet earlier, is Andrew, right? And Andrew in our last broker webinar talked about the 3 Ps, right? That's what he's looking for, right? The people, package, is it people,
property, package.
That's
yes,
right.
sir.
And so when it comes to, obviously, you're doing a little bit of a look at that before it gets to Andrew, trying to be able to make sure that the ones that have the highest chance of approval are getting to him. So is there, from your perspective as the loan officer, trying to prepare a file to get to Andrew, what are some things that the broker could be on the lookout for that might not make it the most advantageous to move past that initial approval process with Andrew?
Yeah, no, great question. So initial review from my standpoint is going to be, do they have the contract, the budget, application filled out, photo ID? That's my bare minimum. I'll start looking at leverage on if it's a high renovation for a low cost property. So if they're buying a property for say 10, 20,000 with a 200,000 renovation, the value is still very low going into it. So it's a very high risk. So there will be some initial cash needed to go in on the property, or more cash than not. Locations that are growing for the property itself, a high metro population density, growing markets, that's what we're after. Our managing director is going to look at the borrower themselves for the person with good experience of like properties if they do have a high renovation. If it's a 200,000 with a 10, 20,000 or 100 to 200,000 purchase price, say it's a 10 or 20,000 renovation budget, those are going to be a good target to hit.
So what you're looking for is what I've deemed to my borrowers as a balanced deal, meaning that they're not buying it so cheap that they're trying to turn a lump of coal into a diamond, but they're turning a lump, they're trying to take this diamond and polish it up.
Absolutely. Yes, that's perfect.
And then when it comes to the metro area, we're wanting one that's stable, right? We're not wanting one that's fluctuating with real estate values all the time. We want something that's stable and or increasing so that we can trust the values that are there.
Yeah, stable market.
Right. And then this is, I'd say this is me coming as a broker, right? Because this is something you and I have faced over a few of the deals that you and I have worked on, is getting into that appraisal process, right? We get through with Andrew, and then we get into that appraisal. What is, in your opinion, the best way for a broker to be able to properly set expectations about the appraisal process and what that looks like for the borrower?
Yeah. The appraisal process from the time it's ordered to the time it's paid is a big time frame, where the time starts from getting it assigned to scheduled. So if say it's a Monday, we get the appraisal ordered. You want to try to get that paid by the evening so it can get assigned the next day, and then scheduled by within the week. 2 or 3 days is usually for an appraiser to actually get it scheduled, and then they can take up to 3 to 7 days to finally get it completed and sent back to us.
So it could be anywhere between 5 to 10 days before, from the time that it's ordered to the time that it gets returned.
Yep, based off of the time they pay for it and it gets assigned.
And so that brings up a question I know a few brokers have had, and you've been actually presented with this question multiple times over your time with Cogo. Can Cogo accept outside of appraisals if that, because I know brokers try to skirt the system, right?
Yeah, get an appraisal ordered.
If there's already an appraisal from another company, could Cogo accept that if the timelines are a little bit tight?
Absolutely. Yeah, if there was an appraisal that was already done and it was done from an approved AMC, we can get a transfer letter to Cogo Capital and approve those. Yeah, no, that's great.
So for those of you guys who don't know the TLA, the 3-letter acronym, AMC, Appraisal Management Company. Right, this is a company that contracts out to appraisers and finds the right ones in the right area that will adhere to certain standards. Right, this also ensures impartialness, so that the appraiser is not working for the borrower, not working for the seller, not working for the lender. It is a complete impartial number, which makes the numbers very trustable. That's why we use an AMC. And in that realm, right, I'm bringing that up because I know that I've been presented with that question, is if they were to follow this process to a T, like everything you've dialed out, in the ideal scenario, going from initial application that you just went through to initial approval by you, getting it to Andrew for that, going through the whole thing to closing, what is the good time frame that Cogo is shooting for brokers to know right now from start to finish?
Start to finish, 3 to 4 weeks from initial. Your borrower reaches out to you, you're sending terms to them, they're approving them, we're getting it in for a preliminary, if needed, an application started, the order entry, high-level review, appraisal, all the way down to a final submission for underwriting, initial review for a final clear to close. 3 to 4 weeks is a good target. 5 to 7 days from a full file. So an appraisal's been ordered, title's been opened, insurance, all docs are uploaded to our processing team, and our initial submission to underwriting, we can expect 5 to 7 days to close.
So we're looking 21 to 28 days, 3 to 4 weeks roughly, and so which is, I'd say, right in line with industry where most things are at. Now, if let's just say a borrower had a deal that needed to close in like 15 to 18 days, we're a little ahead of that.
Yeah.
Is that still possible?
Yeah. If they have title already open, if we're getting right on to the application, the appraisal, we may have to do a rush appraisal or an internal review. There are options that we can do for appraisals if it's going to take a long time to get. But yes, that's very achievable.
Great.
With a full file.
The reason why I ask that is I know every single day you get these, I'm not going to call them outlandish scenarios, but brokers tend to bring deals that may not fit fully within that timeline box.
Yeah.
So I brought that question up to illustrate the point is, don't not bring a deal to Cogo because you don't think that it's going to be able to close. Just, was it 3 weeks ago, between Joey, Andrew, myself, and the processor and underwriter, we took a deal from start to finish in, 7 days.
Yes, sir.
Right? And so it is entirely possible, but the thing that the brokers need to understand is you, myself, everybody, we were dialed in on communication from second one.
Yeah, a
So
lot of prep work on your end coming into it, though.
a lot of prep work, being able to make it. Brokers, you guys are in full control of how easy this process is. You are in full control over everything that happens. What I want you to understand is Joey's part in all of this is just to make sure that things are getting moving and that they're staying moving. Your job is to make sure that when Joey says we need this, that you get it or you have it before he even asks. Right? So one of the things that I would counsel a lot of you to do is go into the past webinars that where Joey's done a couple of them, Andrew's done a couple of them, and learn what the standards are that we have and the standard documents. Go back to your broker certification to the section that Gary Myers teaches about the documents and the loan files and learn what needs to be there. So when you submit to Joey, if you got the whole entire complete loan file ready to go before the appraisal is even done, that speeds up the process tenfold. And that's what happened with us.
Absolutely. There are a few brokers that come with that full file, and they are, 7 to 14 days on average to close. It's nice to work with. It's easy to process.
Makes your job easier, and I know it makes everybody else's a lot easier as well. So, Austin, do we have any questions in the chat for the last few minutes that we got here?
Okay, we got a few questions. The first one that popped up, brand new here, what is a DSCR loan?
I can take that one. Debt service coverage ratio. It's going to be targeted for your long-term holds, buy and hold. Say you just got done with your renovations here with Cogo Capital and you want to hold that property. So you're going to refinance that property out into a DSCR loan.
And just think of a DSCR loan as a glorified rental loan. You're just holding the property long term. It's a fancy term where the property's debt, the payments, the insurance, the taxes, everything that it costs to run the property on a monthly basis is covered by the rent roll. That's what it means. The debt is covered or serviced by the rent. If you want to know more about that, I've got a lot of trainings in the previous broker webinars and the broker academy calls that go really in depth into that. But great question. All right, we got time for one or two more, Austin.
Okay, let me cherry pick here. What are the requirements for foreign national investors? Some lenders find more foreign nationals. Oh, it just moved. Basically, what are the requirements for a foreign national to do a deal with you, Cogo?
Yeah, so for a foreign national, they have to have an I-10 U.S. credit. On a broad brush, that's what we're going to need to start.
So the I-10, that's an individual tax ID number. Think of it as a social security number for a foreign national. They've got that, and they've got a credit score that can be tied to that, and they're good.
Yeah.
Let's see, through the broker link, does the lead see the broker logo or Cogo logo on that landing page? So basically, when you send them the link, they fill it out?
So if you send the application to the individual, do they see the Cogo logo and everything, or is it branded specifically to the broker?
So when you send out your term sheet, say you want the information from a new term sheet sent direct to the borrower, you upload your logo for that. Once you've sent the application link, that is going to say Cogo Capital Lake City Servicing, so definitely get your broker agreement signed prior to the application.
Yeah. So if there's anything that goes out specifically to the broker, follow that direction. Protect your relationship at all costs. Get that broker agreement signed. Remember how I've told you guys to phrase it in the past. Okay, this is nothing more than an agreement between you and me that if I connect you to a lender and we close the deal, that you're going to pay me for my services. If they refuse to sign that, then we're at an impasse. So if you want to send them something without that, then you'll need to make sure that you're doing a bunch of extra things to be able to remove Cogo logos and things like that off there, which if you're not tech savvy enough, I wouldn't recommend it. So do yourself a favor, get the broker fee agreement signed up front like Joey said. All right, last question there, Austin.
Okay. So there's a lot of good ones. A lot of good ones. Let's see. If understood correctly, nope, not that one. Hold on, I'm sorry. I'm just having to read through these.
Nope, that's okay. Recapping on the process just a little bit, getting the term sheets to your borrowers, sending lock to Cogo Capital, getting your application link sent to the borrowers, having them fill it out, making sure they have the purchase sale agreement, terms, and their budget.
Okay, am I able to take the application over the phone with my client, or do they need to complete it themselves?
They will need to complete the applications themselves. It's the chance to sign the disclosures for signing for a background check. They will need to sign the application.
All right. Well, everyone, thank you so much. Joey, thank you so much for a great webinar.
Thanks for hosting.
I hope everybody learned a lot, because I certainly did, getting to see it go through another time. As we go through and we're continuing to improve these processes with Cogo Capital, Joey's going to be right here with me, being able to help you guys understand every single one. So you're going to get to see this face a lot. And he's going to be one of your best friends in this industry.
Absolutely.
Now, unfortunately, I know that you guys love me. I'm so happy to be back, but the unfortunate thing is my missus at home really wants dinner, and it's my turn to cook. So, as much as I love you guys, I do need to go, but
Well, what's for dinner? Where are we going?
Well, if you want to cook, I'm more happy to do that. Tri-tip steaks tonight. So we're going to have a great meal.
Very good.
But with that being said, everyone, I want to thank you for sticking with us this whole entire time, learning with us, and I will see you next month on the Broker Webinar. Everyone, have a great rest of your day.
Thanks, Brandon.